Now I want to bring you the latest developments on the deadly crash involving a RIPTA bus this week. This morning, we're hearing from colleagues of the federal courthouse security officer who was struck while crossing the street in Kennedy Plaza on Wednesday. A RIPTA bus hit 69-year-old Frank McKnight on Wednesday afternoon. He died in the hospital last night. And now, as McKnight is being mourned, officials are calling for safety improvements in the downtown Providence transportation hub. Eyewitness News reporter Sean Daly live with the latest now from the Providence Mobile Newsroom. Sean?
Danielle, we're here in Kennedy Plaza in downtown Providence outside federal court, where hearts are heavy this noontime after a court security officer was hit by a RIPTA bus in an intersection right behind these RIPTA buses.
Communicating with us.
The mood was somber inside a jury assembly room at federal court in Providence this morning. The chief judge, the U.S. Marshal, the police chief in North Kingstown, and several dozen workers at the courthouse all gathered to publicly remember and say farewell and thank you to their friend and colleague, federal court security officer Frank McKnight. He was 69 years old. On Wednesday afternoon, a RIPTA bus struck him as he was crossing Washington Street between the courthouse building and the post office building. Frank McKnight died last night at Rhode Island Hospital.
We all stand before you this morning with a very heavy heart. Last evening, we learned of the passing of our colleague, our friend, Officer Frank McKnight.
Chief Federal Judge William Smith says he and others already are working with RIPTA to fix whatever went wrong.
I expect that we're going to look at, or the appropriate people are going to look at the whole situation.
Frank McKnight spent 27 years on the North Kingstown Police Force and 13 years after that as a security officer at federal court.
I mentioned his light side, his softness and approach for people, but I mean, with a name like McKnight, you got a bit of a bark in there at times, and that's showing through in doing his job. But overall, he's just that softness about him.
Funeral arrangements for Frank McKnight are not yet complete, but the expectation is sometime next week. Live at federal court with the Providence Mobile Newsroom, Sean Daly, Eyewitness News.